I don't want to be famous. I don't want to do this video, and I'm going to do it anyway. I actually know that right now is a time for me to speak up a lot more. Now, here's the deal. If you know that you are able to make a lot more money and have a lot more impact in the world and serve a lot more people and doing it in a really incredible, amazing way that lives in your spirit, in your heart, in your mind, and you're actually doing stuff that makes you feel like an incredible human instead of just making money, that's fine. There's a place for that. I personally believe in making a crap ton of money by providing an incredible amount of value in the world. So if that's you and if that's what you want to do, you're going to want to listen up to this. There are 5 subconscious blocks that maybe you're flying around in the arena around you. We want to make sure that we shine some light on those right now so that we can get you through making money on your terms and making a lot of money. So my name is Liz Benny. I've had a lot of fun online and I'll be very raw, real and honest with you. I've had the great pleasure of being able to help multi-millionaires, nearly theirs, like people that are on their pathway to make their first million. I'm a happy millionaire myself. I live in Christchurch, New Zealand on property. Some of my biggest passions right now are planting trees, making homemade barbecue sauce, making homemade relish. Life is absolutely amazing and it wasn't always as incredible as it is now. And a lot of what I'm going to be teaching you today is stuff that I've come through and it's stuff that I'm helping people through now, having gone the hard way myself. And I just want to make sure that you don't have to go the hard way for too much longer. Is that okay with you? So one of the first blocks that I want to unearth with you today is the too much wound. A lot of entrepreneurs that I serve have been keeping things a little bit more low-key with their impact, their income, and their influence because they don't want to poke their head up too high. They don't want to be the person that is arrogant. They don't want to be the person that's too much. They don't want to be the person that's too loud. So they tone things down to keep everyone else safe. Now, the problem with that is when you live from the too much wound, it ends up absolutely hurting you. Now, I speak to this because I have lived in I just should turn my light down so that I keep everyone else happy and everyone else around me is fine. My dad, my mom, my wife, my kids. Now, let's be raw, real, and honest. If you have been toning things down in order to keep other people happy, that's actually hurting your spirit, that's hurting your soul, and it actually lives in your body. The too much wound is a big one. And I really want you right now to ask yourself, where have you been toning things down in order to keep other people happy? Maybe your spouse, maybe your kids. I've got a prime example right now. I'm helping one person go from 6 million in revenue to 12 million in revenue in the course of a year. So it's a big jump. Now, that's a lot of identity changing. That's a lot of upskilling. That's a lot of detaching from the small story and stepping into a bigger story. And it also is requiring this particular client to be her boldness and her bigness in her home, not arrogantly, but letting her children see her for the truth that is in her spirit, in her heart, in the business plan, both logically and in spirit, right? So her kids are like, oh my gosh, my mom is absolutely amazing. She had such fear of her kids seeing her for her truth and seeing her for her possibilities. She has such fear of that. And she thought that she was actually going to lose the respect of her children. And quite the opposite has happened. Now, speaking directly to that point, a lot of the times when we have fear of being too much or fear of being all of ourselves or fear that might upset the apple cart, a lot of the time the fear is actually a lot bigger than actually it is when you actually just do it and you're like, oh, actually, it wasn't actually that bad. When I showed up for all of myself and I said, hey, this is who I am. This is how I want to show up in the world. Can you please support that? A lot of the time, exactly what we want is exactly what we get. And it's not actually as hard as we thought it was, okay? The hard part is giving ourselves permission to actually do it. Now, a little bit more about permission in the future, but the first thing I want you to be aware of is, and ask yourself this question, are you saying I shouldn't do something because I shouldn't be thinking that big or nobody around me thinks this big? Here's the thing. Typically, I'm the loudest person in the room. Typically, I'm the biggest dreamer in the room. I'm rambunctious. I'm the person that says the things that you shouldn't say. And I used to tone that all down. And now I'm just absolutely reluctant to do that. And by me being all of me, like if we ever meet in person, I will be exactly the same as who you're seeing right now. There's not some online personality and offline personality. This is exactly how I am with my neighbors. This is exactly how I am with my kids. This is exactly how I am with my wife. This is exactly how I am with my family, whether they gosh dang like it or not. And it's not that I'm being it to annoy other people. It's being it to love myself enough and respect myself enough. And the people that don't like it, that's okay. It's not my responsibility to manage other people's emotional response to me being all of me. Now, again, I'm not being rude. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just not willing to be someone who is a toned down version of myself, because that is too costly to my spirit, to my soul, to my energy, to my pathway, to my transformation, to me doing what it is that I'm here to do. And it's one of the key things that I help people with is stepping into their power, stepping into their truth. And when you have the too much wound, a lot of the time it shows up as, let me just turn my volume down. So we get to shine a flashlight on the too much wound right now and go, it's time to turn that volume up. So I invite you to give yourself permission right now to be all of yourself, to unearth the too much wound, to look at it for what it is, maybe go back and go, where did this come from? And go, oh, my mum told me to shut up one time when I was singing and I was really happy. And like it can quite literally just come from one instance in our childhood when we were rocking it out, having so much fun. And then you made that mean that you need to shut up. Now, the cost of you not speaking your truth and being your audaciousness can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. It can be a lot of money. And that money is lives that you can change with selling your product, your service, your thing out there in the world. So I'd like to invite you right now to give yourself permission to be all of you. Turn up that dial, be all of you. Now, here's the next thing. Block number 2 is the strategy trap. A lot of the time people think that they have a strategy problem. And a lot of the time that strategy problem is 100% not a strategy problem. It's actually an alignment problem. If you have been to the conferences and you've looked at the strategy and you've looked at the Facebook, Instagram, Claude Madison, you've looked at all these things, you understand everything, right? If you're anything like so many other people out there, you've seen so many webinars, you've seen so many strategies, you've seen so many opportunities, you don't have a strategy problem. If you're trying to do something and you're not getting further ahead, it's an alignment problem. What that means is that if you have a strategy and then you are not able to be yourself in that strategy, you have a misalignment with your strategy. Often what you are feeling is that you're not worthy of being able to step into the greatness of that strategy. It's an incredible thing to say. I have been helping another client right now, and she's doing super duper well. And we were talking about her having a $100 million business last week. It was amazing. And she doesn't have a $100 million business yet. She is on track now to do $100 million. And here's the thing is that when she said the words $100 million, her mouth did this little thing and it was incredible. The moment that she aligned to that, it's as if everything else was easy because she had a strategy. And she wasn't being the person that she needed to be to actually step into that strategy. And it became absolutely obvious who she needed to hire, who she needed to fire, how she needed to show up and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. There are not many different ways to make a lot of money. Like there's YouTube money, there's Facebook ad money, there's the Meta ad money, if you want to say it the real way in this day and age, email marketing. Like there's so many different ways to make money. Like you don't have a strategy problem. You know all the strategies. It's just which one is the right one for you. And that's the real question. I want to talk about the subconscious block number 3. And this is a big one for you if you've ever felt like you just keep on struggling. Chances are you have been taught that struggling is a big part of what you have to do in order to get to success. And this is part of being a martyr CEO. Now, this comes from a person who learnt from her father, and I'm talking about me right now. I learned from my father that being a martyr is how you get meaning and purpose in your success. Okay. And what I mean by that is like, we struggled. The bennies on the farm struggled. And I would see other people out there doing incredible things. They would be going on holidays and doing all these incredible things, but the bennies struggled. I remember being invited overseas by a friend of mine, and her parents were going to pay for my ticket to go from New Zealand to Australia. It was going to be absolutely amazing. And my dad said, No, you are to stay at home and you will be working on the farm for barely any pay, just saying. And I will always remember that because my friend's family, they also owned a farm and they were able to go away on holiday. But my family stayed at home and struggled. And what we talked about was how hard things were, how much things cost, and how much we were working, and how tired we were at the end of the day, and how bad the weather was, whether it was sunny, whether it was windy, whether it was rainy. And I vividly remember as a child going, okay, this is how we do it. And I've had to actively make sure as a business owner, as a 45-year-old business owner, that I am not actively walking in the footsteps of my martyr father. Now, Dad's amazing. He's incredible. He got that from his generational stuff. So this isn't me going, Dad is a bad person. Nope, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that being a martyr CEO does not work if you're after peaceful profits, if you're after leading a team from the energy of like, let's go, let's innovate, let's change the world, let's really get our product and services out in the world and like make an impact and see how big we can go. 200 milli, 500 milli, like whatever it is, like thinking bigger. A struggling martyr CEO can think about those things and then immediately looks for why it's not possible. Whereas an innovative growth mindset CEO is more able to go, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is amazing. This is where we're going. That person has got no place for martyrdom. So if you find yourself struggling a lot in business, if you find yourself constantly on the struggle street, I would say to yourself, where am I proving to myself that I have to struggle in order to get success? Where am I proving that there is worth in the struggle where I could choose ease and there is actually worth in the ease as well? I remember thinking to myself one time, ooh, like laziness is just disgusting. I remember finding myself saying the words, I despise laziness. And when I looked at how I was using my time, I would find every single minute of every single day, and I was always doing something. I was constantly on the hamster wheel, constantly looking for problems to solve all the time. And then it always felt like I had to hunt and keep going and keep making more money and keep making more money. And I looked around and I saw these people that were just relaxing, and they'd chosen for themselves a different pathway. They'd chosen for themselves to be what I classed at that point in time to be lazy. And I looked at them and I went, I'm stressed. They're relaxed. I'm making X amount of money. They are making 10 times that. I'm like, and the problem was me. The problem was how I was viewing what was going on and how I needed to show up as a business person in order to have success. So I had a martyr complex, and I killed that martyr complex in order to be able to step forward into now being able to go, I want to be as lazy as possible. I still work because I love doing what it is that I do. But how is it that I can make as much as possible by working as little hours as possible? And how can I impact as much as possible by working as little hours as possible? So in everything that I'm doing right now, I'm busy thinking bigger. I'm busy thinking, how can I still impact the world and still get out there and change lives and still make a crap ton more money, because AI is here for us to be able to use in the most incredible, amazing ways, and not be playing by martyr rules and not be playing by I'm too much rules and not be playing by all of the rules that have held me back. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about today is your default identity. Now, I talk about this a lot with my clients who they go out and they have these incredible experiences and they're like, oh my gosh, I can do anything. And they might go on vacation. They start to think differently and they see the world through different lenses, and then they return home and then they go back into default mode. And I'm like, hold up for a second. We're not going to do this default mode thing. So I call it out. When my clients are away, I'm like, hey, you're going to go back home over there. You've had this expansion over here. Let's ensure that your expansion pathway is clear when you go home as well. Because if you go back to your default identity of This is how I operate when I am at home. I can expand when I'm out, and when I'm home, I despand. I don't even think that's a word. But if that's what happens, right? If the common thing is that you go out and then you come back and you kind of deflate, what's the point in going out in the first place? Like it's like an addictive way to do business. It's like, yeah, it's amazing. You go get high on your freaking cocaine bull crap, and then you come home and then you just go back to the way it was. That default identity has to die, or else there's no point in you going out and spending all that time and spending all that money and believing in yourself, because you're just setting yourself up for failure. Now, I talk about this with my clients all the time because it is so fundamentally important to be able to set your environment internally and externally up for success whilst you're away, so that when you get home, you are 100% able to be the new you the moment you hit home. So you must have conversations with your children, your spouse, your significant other, your dogs, your cats, your neighbors, everyone, to go, hey, you know that person who I was before I went on holiday? Yeah, she dead. I'm not her anymore. I've decided to have higher standards in my life. This is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm going to be showing up. Please support me by blah, 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 blah. I love you. Let's go. Now, that sounded like a little bit of a pushy, rambunctious way to do it. I was kind of being a little bit facetious there. My point is this. If you genuinely want the change, and if you genuinely want to make more money, if you genuinely want to show up differently, you have to bring the people who are super important to you along on your journey and not use them as a reason for you not to fly. Because what a lot of people do is that they go out and they expand. They go out, they believe in themselves and it's amazing. And then they come home and they believe that they cannot expand at home, and they shouldn't ask their spouse for support, and they don't know how to ask for the support. It's a simple matter of literally just being honest with your significant other and your children, etc. The people who are most important to you, perhaps not your neighbors, by the way. Although I have really cool neighbors, so I probably would ask my neighbors. But here's the deal. You genuinely want to be able to say, hey, I've expanded. I want more for myself. I'm going to be showing up a little bit differently right now. I'm going to be moving my office around. I'm going to be getting up earlier. I'm going to be going to sleep earlier. I'm going to be journaling a lot more. I'm not going to be watching so much Netflix, because I don't want to be how I was over there. Not that it was bad, but I want a brighter future for myself. So I'm going to be doing things differently so that I can put new habits into play. Can you please support me with that? Yes. Awesome. Chances are, by you having that conversation, your significant other and your children's lives will absolutely change as well. I've seen it time and time again. Every single time I help someone out with this particular part, their marriage shifts positively, the relationship with their children shifts positively, and it's absolutely amazing. Now, what I want to do right now is to get into the subconscious block number 5. This is a big one. Is it okay with you if I just take a little second here to say, if you don't listen to what I'm about to say, you won't make more money. You won't have more freedom. You won't have more of what it is that you absolutely want. And I want you to have more money. I want you to have more freedom. My belief system is the more money you have, the more people you can serve, the more people you can help, including your family, the people around you, and then your wider community. It's my moral obligation to help you make more money. But if you're sitting there waiting for permission, which is number 5, if you're sitting there waiting for permission from someone that will say to you, you're allowed to do that, or there's someone to say to you, you are worthy, or someone to say, I give you permission, you are worthy of the cause, you can go out there, you can do it. If you're waiting for a permission slip from someone, you are seeking external validation for your own power, and it's disempowering you. So I could facetiously say right now, hey, if you want permission here, have some permission. But I'm just making it worse for you. You don't need my permission to go out there and change the world. You don't need my permission to make more money. You don't need my permission in any way, shape, or form. You don't need your father's permission, your mother's permission, your wife's permission, your husband's permission. Your husband's position. That's funny. You don't need anyone's permission to be successful, period. But at the end of the day, if you are out there looking for permission from anyone else other than you to be successful, it ain't going to work. You are constantly going to be giving your power away to other people. You have to be able to give yourself the permission to fly, to shine, to be all of you, to be the multi-gajillionaire, to make 100 grand a minute, a month, a moment, whatever it is. And I'm flying these numbers around. So many people fling numbers around and saying, oh, this is how you make 10 grand per month or 100 grand per month or $1 million a minute or whatever it is. This is all hocus pocus bullcrap designed to make you feel inferior, small, not enough, like you are not worthy of it. Bullcrap. You can do it. And I'm not saying that from the standpoint of this is me giving you permission, because I will not give you permission to be all of you. Because it's not my place to. It's your place to give yourself the permission. So whether you want to be a multimillionaire, whether you want to have so much money that you want to be able to build wells that help make sure that people have healthy drinking water. That's one of my things, by the way. Like I can't wait to build wells around the world. They're going to be power wells. Anyway, I can't wait. I give myself permission to be all of me. And I give myself permission to forgive the past versions of Liz that was too scared to give herself permission. Right now, in 2026, the world is changing so quickly and so fast. And the people that are really going to make it are the people that are going to get out of their own bloody way and go, I am not freaking too much. It doesn't matter about the strategy. I'm just going to stay aligned to my truth. I don't have to struggle anymore. I'm going to remove the default identity that does not work for me, and I give myself permission to shine. The people that can stand up and consistently show up from themselves with all of those intact, and maybe one day, two of them are blaring, like, I know that I'm not too much and I'm going to be aligned. And maybe you don't fire on all cylinders every single day. But just remind yourself as often as possible, you're not too much. Can I just be a coach for a second for you? Say, I am not too much. Say it right now. I am not too much. Great. Awesome. Say, I deserve to be aligned to my truth. Great. Awesome job. Say, struggling is not necessary. Great. Awesome. Say to yourself right now, I'm going to get rid of the identity that holds me back. You're doing really well. Hopefully you're playing along with me. And the last one, just say, I give myself permission to shine. I truly, deeply hope in my heart of hearts that this video has landed for you. If it has served you, please like, please subscribe, please share this with someone who you believe will get value from this. And feel free to say hi to me in the comments. I read every single comment and I would love to hear from you. What was the biggest breakthrough for you? What did you receive from this video? Please let me know, and I will see you in the next video.